Hey guys, and welcome to Back to Fitness number 32, I think. I think it's 32. 3 weeks to go to London, and I think we're back in business. Okay, let's talk about this week's training first. So, as you'd know from last week, I was struggling to recover from a basically non-starter in the Islegate Half Marathon, serious problems with my quads. I got the 20 miler done last Sunday, so I took Monday off as a rest day. So, I hadn't ran that distance for so long, like, really smart thing to do. Tuesday, then I went and I did 10 miles at Marathon Effort on the pitches in Seanmore Park. So it's a bit tough mentally because it's an 800-meter loop on the grass, and that's basically 20 laps. So it's actually slightly more than 800 meters. So it would have been slightly more than 10 miles, probably 10.1 or 2 miles, like. And I was able to knock it out at just under 650 pace, very consistent all the way. Could have done another mile, no problem if I had to. Was really happy with that. As pre-Islegate, I tried to do that session and failed miserably. So it really taught me that the body was starting to come back in the right direction for me. So because I had the Ratoath Half Marathon lined up for Saturday, which was yesterday, I basically took it easy for the rest of the week after that. Just easy runs, decent bit of mileage. Ended up with, in total for the week with the run today as well, heading for that mid 50s, which I'm really happy with considering the week before and what happened and how the body is feeling now. So easy running into the race. Didn't run Friday. Race then was on it. The kickoff start was at 8:30 a.m. So really early start again. Tough, like, I was up at 6:30. It's early, guys. It's 7:15 a.m. in the a.m. and we have our new shoes. So we have a pair of Endorphin Pro 2 for the race today. Fingers crossed. So we have about a 30-minute trip to Fairyhouse Racecourse. So let's get going. Here in one piece anyway. Just over half an hour drive. Perfect time to get ready. Lots of people around. Seems like there's a good atmosphere. It's nice and calm. Hopefully the weather is going to be good. Fingers crossed. Happy days, guys. Back in business. Thank God. Going to do a little bit of a cool down now. Talk to you in a while. So the race kicked off at 8:30 a.m. I was feeling fine. I had no issues warming up. Quads, everything really happy. So I was a little bit optimistic that everything was going to go well. Hopefully the plan was to finish the race, and I managed that. First couple of miles, first about 4 or 5 miles, I was running with a guy from Clonliffe Harriers. His name is Dermot Fahan. Like, my sister-in-law is a member of Clonliffe Harriers, and nearly everyone in Clonliffe knows Maura. So I got talking to Dermot during the race. After about 5 miles, he said something to me about there being a few hills, and we kind of got chatting and what have you, like. And I was, I suppose, a little bit sneaky in that once he broke the silence, because we'd ran like 3 or 4, nearly the 5 miles together. First mile was a good few people, then it kind of spread out, and we were running together then for the next couple of miles. And once he broke the silence, then I would take that as a sign, maybe a sign of weakness. My competitive edge came to the fore, and when we had a little chat, then I put in a bit of a spurt, like, to see what happened. And it was a really good thing to do for both of us, really, because from there all the way to the finish, the two of us pushed each other the whole way. When I'd take it on, I might get a little gap on Dermot, and then he'd pull it back in, and then he'd push it on and get a little gap on me, and then I'd pull back, and it was kind of a to and fro like that for all the way up until around 11 miles. And in fairness to Dermot, he went by me again and took it on to the finish. He ended up about 20 seconds ahead of me. I remember we hit 1k to go. I saw the 1k marker, and he was about 5-10 seconds ahead of me, I'd say. I said, okay, I can give it a go now, I might be able to catch him. And it was slightly uphill into a really strong headwind, and after maybe 200 meters giving it a go, it's like, nah, don't worry about it, just finish the race and you'll be happy. So the first 5 miles were pretty flat, like nothing serious, nothing, to worry about at all. But then the next 5 miles were a gradual uphill, very slight. You wouldn't really notice it, only for the fact that there was quite a strong wind on the morning. Now, it wasn't the kind of wind to really ruin your race, but because of that section of the race, kind of from mile 5 back to maybe 10 and a half, 11 mile mark, was gradual. There was one section, and it must have been like about 2K, just constantly, just slightly climbing uphill. And what made it tough was that headwind at times. But for me, what I found really good for me was the fact that I had Dermot, and there was another young lady who I actually feel sorry for. She was in second place for most of the race and ended up coming fourth, which is a tough pill to swallow, I'd say, for her, because she ran a great race. I think it was Amy Moran from DSD. I subsequently found out from a friend of hers that it's her first race in 20 months, so that was an absolutely super run. I think she came in maybe 10 or maybe 20 seconds behind me, something like that. But she had a really gutsy run, and unfortunately for her, she came fourth. So first 5 miles, good. Second 5 miles, slightly tougher. I was feeling pretty good, hit the 10 mile mark, and then got a slight stitch on my right hand side. Went away after maybe about a half mile, but from that point onwards I really started to struggle. I was keeping the pace pretty okay, but when we got to the 11 mile mark, just after that, you come into Fairyhouse Racecourse, where the finish is, but you still have just over 2 miles to go. Now, it got really tough in that you came out onto the race course and you had about 50-60 meters, could have been more, of soft sand to run through to get onto the road that goes around, the tarmac road that goes around the race course. And it wasn't too bad, it was okay. Like, you didn't really want that at that stage in a half marathon. Somebody had mentioned it to me before the race, so I was prepared for it, So I thought, okay, that's out of the way now. And you get onto the tarmac, and running on the tarmac, you do a full loop of the race course, which gives you the rest of the 2 miles to finish the race. And we run around, grand, flying along, and then they started to swing around, and all of a sudden then the wind was just getting stronger and stronger and stronger as you turned around the race course. And the problem is, because it's around a race course for horses, it's totally exposed. There's absolutely nothing there at all to break the wind. So the closer you got to the finish, the stronger the wind was getting. And at that stage then, it was just a case of survival. I just want to get to the finish in one piece and I'll be happy. So that's why I didn't go hell for leather to try and catch Dermot. I don't think I would have anyway. I might have got close enough, but in the end, he pulled away really well in the last couple of 100 meters and had a very strong finish. And the one thing I would say about the race is that sand, because there was another part of the sand when you got back around to where you came onto the tarmac track, you had to come back off it again to come around to the finish. So there was more soft sand, but this time it was about 100 meters of it with a tight right, or so it was a left-hand 90-degree turn in really soft sand. And at that stage of a half marathon, in a pair of high-profile super duper shoes, it was like skating on ice, and it was tough. I was just like, oh man, what are you doing to me? And you get over that and you're about like 50-60 meters to the line, and you're just trying to stay steady to the line. There's no point in really sprinting hard, but I tried to stay steady to the line, and I came in 83:39. Happy enough with that. Main thing was getting around one piece, body is fine. Today now, body's pretty fine. Left calf's a little bit icky, but considering I raced a half marathon yesterday, the body feels pretty good. I went out today and I did 60 minutes, an hour and a minute of an easy run, 8-minute mile pace, really easy. Going to get a rub down tomorrow, take another day or two of running easy, and then probably Thursday to Sunday, going to train hard, and that will give me 2 weeks to go. So, and then next weekend we're going to have to run another 20-mile plus run. So, getting closer to the business end of things. Not going to have a huge taper. Any of you who've been following me will see why. But everything is, I'm much more positive now this weekend than I was last weekend. I've much more to be excited about. It's great. 25th overall in the half marathon. 83:39. I was hoping for around 82 and a half, sub 83 maybe, but it was 40 seconds above that, but it's not bad. Okay, let's talk about a time to target in London off of my half marathon time. So when I ran 250 in Dublin, I would have ran 79 minutes for my half marathon leading into that marathon. So you're talking like a 14-minute. If you doubled up my half marathon time, it's another 14 minutes, I think. About that. 12 minutes. 12 minutes. So if I double up what I ran this time and say 83 and a half. So that's 2:46, and I add on 12 minutes, and that's 2:58. Okay, so what we're looking at here then, as we stand here now, my target time for London is going to be somewhere between 2:57 and 2:58. Forget about your 2:50. That ship sailed a couple of weeks ago. Would have been a bit of a struggle. Things would have had to went amazingly well for me in training to be able to target that time. Considering when I ran close to either 2:50 or close to it before, I would have been in sub 80 shape for half marathon, and I like best part of 4 minutes off that there yesterday. So I have to be realistic. I can't go out and even say go target a low 250s. I want to be able to get around in one piece and enjoy it and have a positive experience, because the marathon can be so cruel. You have to treat it with respect. So number 1 target, sub 3. Number 2 target, sub 2:58 to 2:57. That's where we stand at the moment. I can't see that changing a whole lot in 3 weeks. Realistically, the only way it would be going back the way, and we don't want that to happen. We just want to get 2 more weeks of good training in, and then a week of taking it easy before the race, and then get over there then and enjoy myself, have a nice time, and run 26.2 miles around the streets of London and come in around 2:57:25 or something like that. So that's where I am at the moment, with 3 weeks to go to London. If you're running a marathon that weekend, I think there's Belfast on. There's a couple other marathons on in around the same time frame. So if you want to, in the comments, make your prediction now, put your neck on the line 3 weeks out or 4 weeks out from your marathon, and then we can look back after and see how we all got on. So thanks very much for having a look into season, guys. I hope you're enjoying this. I am. Take care, and we'll talk again next week.